What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this very quick conversation about the saga that still continues about tjholmes and amyrobach. So, the U.S. Daily Mail was all up in TJ and Amy's business today, which is Thursday, December the 15th. They were all up in their business because they were following them from TJ's apartment to where they had lunch together at the Capitol Grill. They were inside the Capitol Grill taking photos of them eating. They knew exactly what they ordered. Amy had a salad, TJ had a steak, and they had pictures of them having their lunch. I think this is a multi-level restaurant because the pictures were like from an aerial view, and I guess the photographer was up on an upper level and zooming down in on Amy and TJ. I don't think it was a drone. I think it was probably a photographer up on the upper level. Well, at least I hope it wasn't a drone because that would have been doing the most. They were seen walking about New York City, arm in arm, not caring about who saw them, just trying to move on together as a couple and living their best life. Now, the reason why I thought this article was interesting about how they were, together, they were arm in arm, definitely showing that they were a couple, that they were standing together as a united front, is because initially the reports had been that they did not want to be seen together. When the scandal first hit, they did not want to be seen together. They were trying to keep their distance from one another in hopes that as long as they stopped bringing attention to their relationship, I'm assuming they were hoping that Good Morning America would put them back on the air. But I guess the writing is on the wall that more likely than not, Good Morning will not be having them back on the air. So they're just like, you know what? Why do we need to continue to hide it? If we're not going to be going back to work with GMA, let's just go on and live like a normal couple. I don't know for sure because Good Morning has not issued any statement as far as what they're planning to do. And I'm not understanding why it's taken as long as it has. I'm like, how deeply are y'all trying to investigate these people? Like, what's going on? I guess they need to cover all their bases to make sure that, they themselves are not held liable for wrongful termination if that should happen. So, yeah, they are out and about. They were arm in arm, not hiding anything. And when I see situations like this, right, this is, I think, is one of the downfalls of being a celebrity or being a very well-known public figure, is that when your relationships end and you have to see your partner moving on with someone else, because it's bad enough with regular people who are not famous. When your relationship ends, when your marriage ends and your partner is moving on with someone else, at least for a lot of us, we don't have to witness our exes with their new partners. We don't have to witness their relationships progressing. We're not seeing photos of them every single day. We have the option to block them on Facebook or Instagram, or to remove ourselves from those type of platforms if we don't want to see that. Obviously there's going to come a time, especially if you have children together, that you're going to be seeing your ex with their new spouse or their new partner eventually, but it's just, you're not bombarded with it constantly on the internet. And so, like, I wonder to myself, like, Mary Lee and Andrew Shue, how are they dealing with seeing their estranged husband and estranged wife arm in arm in New York City having lunch together, these big smiles on their faces, as if they haven't left a trail of devastation behind them? How do they feel when they see this? And not just with TJ and Amy, but with any celebrity couple, any celebrities, when they have to see their spouses moving on with new people, and it's all over the internet and you can't escape it. And people are talking about it all the time and articles are being written about it. Like, how do they deal with that? I'm just curious about that. I wonder if they kind of learn how to block certain things out, or if, it's like a knife in the heart every single time, a new photo comes up or what, I don't know. But I just wish everybody, Amy, TJ, Andrew, Mary Lee, all the children, I just wish them all peace and serenity, and that they're able to move past this as quickly as possible if it is painful for any of them. The issue of whether or not TJ is being treated unfairly compared to amyrobach, this has been talked about a lot. A lot of people are saying that because he's African American, the executives at ABC or the executives at Disney, whichever, are being a little bit more ruthless with him, and they're treating Amy with kid gloves. Well, I don't know about that. What I do know for sure is that they're both off the air. And as far as why are they investigating TJ more than they're investigating Amy, if they're investigating Amy at all about, her dealings with her coworkers or whatever, I think it's because TJ is showing a pattern. Whereas Amy, she may have cheated on her previous husband or whatever, but it had nothing to do with Good Morning America. So I think with TJ, the reason why they may be digging a little bit deeper into his past with Good Morning America is because he has a pattern. I know for sure of Natasha Singh. I don't know, like, I've heard that there were other people that he was having affairs with, but I don't know who they are. And I don't know the details of those relationships. And I don't know if they're true or not. So maybe they're being a little bit more ruthless with him because of the fact that he has a pattern of having these affairs with people that he works with. And maybe some of the people other than Natasha, who I think could have been above him, I think, because I don't know the hierarchies of on camera talent and producers and all of that. But because he was dealing with other people at Good Morning America, they want to make sure that it wasn't with people who are working below him. And maybe that's why they're investigating him a little bit deeper, because Amy does not have that pattern, that same pattern of having affairs with people or having relationships with people at Good Morning America. That's just my assumption. But it could be a race thing. Who the hell knows? It could be a race thing. Maybe they just want to stick it to him a little bit harder because of the fact that he is African American and she's not. I don't know. So, and I think as far as the public, I think the public is treating them equally, because in my comments, people are giving Amy the business just as much as they're giving TJ the business. So I think it's probably equal when it comes from the public. I see them both equally responsible. I don't see her as being innocent at all or less culpable at all. It really bothers me that... No, it really doesn't bother me. But I think it's really interesting that Amy was, having this relationship with TJ while she was still friends with, or at least friendly with, his wife, Marilee Fiebig. I think that that's, cringy as hell, that this woman that you're friendly with, you're smiling in her face, you're having conversations with her, you're allowing your daughter to babysit her baby, and not this whole entire time, but for a good chunk of 2022, you're having an affair with her husband. And this is not a Lifetime movie. It's not exciting. It's not adventurous, and I don't know whatever you want to call it, like, oh, I'm friends with her, but I'm also sleeping with her husband. No, it's not cute. It's not exciting. It's not an interesting plot. This is real life, and people's real feelings are getting involved. And the thing that I find the most sad is, it appears from the articles that I read, and the reason why I'm saying it appears is because I don't know these people. I don't talk to them. I don't know what the ins and outs are of any of these relationships. I'm just going by the articles. It appears that Marilee Fiebig was under the impression that her and TJ were working on their marriage. And as they're working on their marriage, he's having an affair with amyrobach. So it's just extremely sad to me that the wife is living in this bubble where she thinks that, oh, we're working on our marriage, this man is really trying. And maybe she didn't even want to repair the marriage. Maybe she was ready to call it quits, but maybe he was like pulling her in and telling her, I promise you I'm going to change, and I promise you things are going to be better now. And so she was probably misled into reconciling her marriage with this man when she could have been long gone after the first affair. She could have been long gone. She could have moved on with her life, been on her healing journey, moving on to bigger and better things. But she decided to give this man another chance. And then she got publicly embarrassed and shamed in front of the whole wide world because she decided to do what she thought was the right thing by working on her marriage and taking her vows seriously. And that's another thing. The reason why maybe some people put more culpability on TJ than they do on Amy is because, number one, Amy was divorcing her husband. So her husband knew the what's up. It doesn't mean that it was any less painful for him when he did find out, but they were in the process of ending their marriage. TJ was in the process of fixing his marriage. And yes, Amy was definitely wrong for messing around with a man who was married to a woman that she was, friends with or whatever, friendly with, or associated herself with. That was horrible. But Amy did not make promises to Mary Lee. Amy did not exchange vows with Mary Lee. It was TJ that did that. So he had a certain responsibility to protect and honor his wife at all costs. And if he no longer wanted to do that, there's nothing wrong with that. If he saw no value in his marriage and he had no interest to stay in his marriage, there is nothing wrong with that. People have a change of heart all the time. It's just a part of being human. There's nothing wrong with that. But you just need to let your wife know that you're no longer invested in this marriage. You're no longer interested in continuing the marriage. It doesn't mean that you're going to love her any less or respect her any less. In fact, it would show a lot of love and respect to have that conversation with her before you begin something new with somebody else. So, that might be one reason why some people feel like, TJ is a little bit, he has a little bit more mud, a little bit more dirt on his hands than Amy, because he was misleading his wife, allegedly. He was misleading his wife, whereas Amy, her husband, knew that their situation was over and done with. They're just waiting for that divorce to be finalized. Yeah, so I don't think I have anything else to add, but other than, like I said before, the U.S. Daily Mail, they had a lot of time on their hands. They had time today. You can go check out that article. I think it's dailymail.com or usdailymail.com. They have the full article there. They have the plethora of pictures over there. If you're interested, if you're not, oh well, not sure why you'd be watching this video if you weren't interested in TJ and Amy at all. But thank you for joining me. Either way, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, do not forget to rate the video. If you like this content, go ahead and subscribe. And I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.